You must attack the mind of your opponent just to disrupt his mental equilibrium or balance and harmony.
What if you turn hardship into greatness, anger into serenity? Everything changes. Make your life a masterpiece. Welcome, I'm Yanik, your host, and now joining me, Dr. Moazzem Hossain, to discuss harmony and conflict and how they relate together, why they need each other in order for people and the relationships to improve, and how to actually take actionable steps in conflict in order to develop harmony within a organization. Now, the last episode we discussed the necessity of conflict in order for us to develop and cultivate harmony. In other words, there is always, in one way or another, a dialectical approach that we need conflict in order to develop and spread really and cultivate harmony. At the same time, we also need harmony in order for us to address conflict. So these two concepts really go hand in hand. But in this episode, we will really provide you with actionable steps how to deal and understand conflict in a real life situation, really through the lens of harmony and conflict, and really fleshed out in the last episode that we had with Dr. Moazzem Hossein. So welcome back, Dr. Hossein, to the show. It's such an honor to have you back.
Thank you, Mr. Yanik. You have nicely summarized about our last episode. In fact, the root cause of all conflicts is the perceptual distortion about the reality. And you must remember that conflict is inevitable also, because you will find conflict in your personal life, in a group, or in your organization, or state versus state. And as you rightly said, that conflict is also necessary for to develop resiliency and also move on. And since conflict is embedded in the nature also, so here just I'll not discuss more about all these theoretical aspect. Just one thing that the Alfred Korzybski is another philosopher. He also talked about this, the perceptual distortion of the reality, because all these things are processed through our neurological system, through brain system, and we do not have the clear perception of the reality. That's why he has a famous quote that map is not the territory. We chart the map, but this is not the real territory. And another point, another this scientist, he said that his name is Werner Heisenberg, that every word or concept, clear as it may be, or it seemed to be, has only limited range of applicability, because it may not suit for all the situation. And everything, when we interact, we as a humans, we want to rationalize think. And once we want to go for rationalization, and there it comes of your intellect. And intellect, characteristics of intellect is to dissect. So, from your rationalization and my rationalization will not be the similar. And that is the flashpoint of all conflict. So, the conflict is inevitable, and to solve these issues or for any conflict resolution, uh, we have talked about many strategies, many situation scenarios also. But one thing to me that the perennial philosophy that is derived from the nature, that is the path of the heart, or it comes from your inner voice, is the best way to solve any issues or any conflict. And for this, you need to have the holistic approach. And here, you will face difficulties because uh, I'm coming to that point because you have open-minded and you are thinking about justness. But if your opponent is not similar like you, then this policy will not apply. So here comes a very conflicting demand of harmony and harmony as a tool to solve this issue. So we'll talk about this, and another three word you must remember. One is look, listen, and think. These three words, these are derived from ancient wisdom. That is, look with the eyes of the whole world, and there is nothing you will not see. Then listen, listen with the hearts of the whole world, and there is nothing you will not hear. And think with the minds of the whole world, and there will be nothing you don't know. Now, see, if you have imprinted these three words, look, listen, and think, it will allow you clear perception, if not totally about the reality, but you will have substantial clarity of the perception which is workable, and you can solve any issues or resolve any conflict with grace in a harmonious manner. So now, as we said that we will give some pathways or how we can solve the conflict, or we can adopt the conflict resolution method. And there is no the solution about this, that after this, after this will happen, and it will come in a chronological manner, because we deal with the trouble mind, remember. Because once we are going for any conflict resolution, there is a partner. Both of them have their own belief and own understandings of their thing. And generally, both of them are in a trouble mind. Otherwise, there would not be any conflict. So, in this type of scenario, once the main actor is the human being, so both will not react in the same manner. They will not, even if they try, if we just tell that you do this, you do that, you will see that everyone knowing all that things, he will have his or her own way of reacting to the situation or thing. So now we have all this conceptual understanding and also the strategy, and armed with all these, learnings, then first stage for any conflict resolution should be, you must have clear perception about your opponent. So what you need to know the root causes of this conflict from your point of view, from your opponent's point of view. If you do not know this, then you will not be able to formulate any strategy or to arrive at any solution. And to do so, what do you need? That SWOT analysis. It is being taught in MBA or anywhere. Rather, these are taught in all discipline also in a different name. That means you are you will have this intelligence appreciation of your counterpart and also your own. You know, you must gather as much as information of your opponent, his point of argument, his point of standing, what he wants, and your point of standing. And if this is the first step, and it has to be exhaustive to know your counterpart and also to know your own strength and weakness. And this is the um, uh, this is the you can tell it the this will give you the foundations that how far you can go, because this is the basic for have a clear understanding of both opposing forces. Only if you can uh, do it adjustably, then you can move ahead. And basing of you this this appreciation or SWOT analysis of both, then you must formulate three courses of action. I'll not go for more. There has to be three best
Okay,
courses.
let's just unpack the what the gathering information. This is really key. In other words, it also can be put in one word. What is it? What are we talking about in terms of really what we can see? Okay, so the facts, very important. So what is? In other words, the position. What's my position? What's the other's position or perspective? That's already very important. So we have to be very clear of what we are actually talking about. And I think this is really brilliant. So make sure you know what you want, what you put forward, and at the same time you have to figure out by asking questions the other person, open-ended questions such as tell me more, in order for you to gather as much information as possible. In doing so, as you brilliantly put forward, is you have to look. In other words, you look for body language, you listen deeply. In other words, we have two ears instead of only one mouth. Okay, so it's more important listening than actually talking. And then, as you said, we have to think. We have to think in a holistic, in a global manner. Okay, so please elaborate further.
No, yeah, thank you. You rightly pointed out. In fact, this process is very exhaustive. There will be brainstorming session, and you have your own team. They will put forward, number of arguments, number of points. This is, as we just talking in a short manner. It is not that short. I use the word exhaustive. So you need to, you know, uh, you need to go for all the ways and means to get all these things, this collection of intelligence and getting the opposing views, because you have this point, and now you will contemplate that you will have this point, how to counter this. So, this first step is very exhaustive, and you will not leave any stone unturned to get all the perspective of the things from your point and also your opponent's point. So here, definitely you will have a team of your own people. There will be brainstorming session, or you have your own mechanism to get all these informations you need, and then through this process, after these collecting, collating all this intelligence, and also brainstorming session or getting advice or suggestion from your own people or own experts, then you basing on this, you will have to formulate minimum three courses of action that what you are going to do. First, in course one, that is course alpha, should be the, from your point of view, that is the best course that if these solutions we can arrive at, this is the best way or this is the best solution for you, then in a sequential manner, course one, course alpha, course bravo, course Charlie, these three. And, uh, basing on after formulating these three courses, then you need to do the wargaming to validate that these are workable. So, in first stage, you have collected all these informations, you have planned exhaustively, and basing on your plan and everything, you have selected the courses of action that how you are going to resolve the conflict, and also you have formulated a very nice or workable or very exhaustive plan, and now uh, in a sequential manner your top priority on best plan of second best, third best, you need to validate it through wargaming. And when you will do this test, definitely again there will be a lot of suggestions. Or if you find that there are some weakness, then you can also address it. And after doing or validating through wargaming, then your plan is final. Remember, if any of this course of action fits into this conflict resolution approach in real time, then you are very lucky. But most often you will see that maybe that your three plan is not going to suit with them. Then, basing on the situation, you will have to use your own, this intellect or own charisma to arrive at a solution. And, this formulating of this plan or three course of actions is not wasted, because you will find that nothing will be out of these three approaches. Because what else can be? Because, there are reasons for conflict. Okay. So once you go for exhaustive uh, discussion about this, I believe all points will be there. So in sometimes if you are not aware of this exhaustive strategy, you might be surprised, but uh, it is believed that if you have this exhaustive exercise, you will be able to tackle this. Okay. So now, um, next important point is that for any uh, this conflict resolution or this process, if you have opponent, and this is really the battle of wits between the opponents. Whoever is more witty, definitely he is going to win if it is done in a fruitful manner. And you can say, in other words, these are the battle of minds. And battle of minds, mind, we know only this word, but this is very vast. Because once you are dealing with some person or some conflict, if that man is not forward looking, if he has a good backward approach, if he doesn't have open mind, then it is very difficult to arrive at a solutions. So these are the battle of minds basically to go for any conflict resolution. And therefore once you after formulating all this policy, if you go for discussion, you must attack the mind of your opponent just to disrupt his mental equilibrium or balance and harmony. If you can do this first, then you will see that he will be he will not be able to counter your arguments with logical argument or logical point. Brother, as a imbalance or inharmonious person will not be able to, you know, uh, counter it. So, but this is you. Now we can ask me that why this, but at in your mind when you have planned that you have the holistic approach, because this is the issues and solution should be this, and this will be win-win situation for both of us. But if your opponent, because you have this justness in your mind, you are open-minded, you want that things should be solved in a uh, just manner. But if your opponent doesn't want this, then you need to keep your balance and harmony or your mental equilibrium intact, and you need to disrupt your opponent's this mental equilibrium and harmony to arrive at a solution. So, for doing this, this is appropriate because your purpose is to come for a win-win solution or viable solution. Now, we know that generally speaking, you know that if we go for any this conflict resolution process, then um, in practical world, that opportunities are lost because of the misinformation, disinformation, then also lack of information, and also faulty evaluation of the intelligence. These aspects are very important to go for the discussion, because if you do not have this and nowadays for any conflict resolution, these are very important, because in earlier now, you know that with a click of something, people can bring many things or do any misleading thing. So here, these are a very important aspect. And another point that nowadays, the lack of courage or initiative or indolence, that people doesn't want to do anything, or having some preoccupation that if I do this, then my this will be lost. This type of preoccupation is also, hazardous for any, harmonious conflict resolution. And also that this type of, these incidents, which or this type of action, because of uh, the basic management of your counterpart, that if they are not that forward looking, then it is very difficult. Okay.
Now,
So,
just quickly, I think this is brilliant. Okay. Now, of course, there are a lot of layers to this because of disinformation, because of so many things. But I think what's really key here is that we focus on what we can ultimately control. Okay, in a situation, so we can control the facts, the asking what we are doing. Okay, what is the conflict about the person? Okay, what do we know at least? Okay, so we focus on what, so the positions. Okay, my position, his position. Second layer, really, we go down to the potential common interests. So what does it us bind together? It might be in an organization, right? We work together. Therefore, we want to have, in one way or another, at least a harmonious relationship. In other words, we just want to get along so we can accomplish the task, the objectives, the daily objectives, ultimately the mission, and ideally the vision, right, that the organization wants to carry out, right? And so ultimately, in order to do so, and also in order to really forge this in a more effective manner, we have to go even further, a layer down, and that is really the common denominator that holds us together. that is indissociable from humanity. These are the core human needs that we all share. Regardless of culture, every culture has different expressions, such as customs, such as food, and so on. But the fundamental needs, the human identity needs, they are identical. That's security, that is belonging, that is recognition, that's the need for action, and all this together will form, in one way or another, a sense of meaning and purpose in life, right? That gives us direction, that makes us who we truly are. So, therefore, how about we start focusing ultimately on the core human identity needs? In other words, I want to make sure that the other person, the opponent, feels safe, secure. I give him this sense also of belonging, that he is worth, the recognition, and also the action. In other words, I allow him to become creative, because I truly think that through actions, we somehow are able to create something differently and really think beyond the the very facts that we face. What do you think about that?
No, you were talking about personal level of conflict resolution. I'm giving you the total overview. Then it can fit into personal level. It can fit into organization level. It can fit into the state versus state. So whatever you said, these are particular point of contention with your opponent. So if those things are there, then with whatever I am telling, it will fit into all situation.
Exactly.
Because once I finish, then you just give me these points. Then uh, I will give you the solution here instantly. Okay. So now we said that. So now what you need to do is that continue engagement through your charm offensive, and this is a very, these are one kind of diplomatic word, that the charm offensive, and this really works. In sometimes, once you are talking to your counterpart, and if you can impress your counterpart, uh, it happened that whatever you say, he is agreeing. I have seen in my practical life also. And another option is that never disengage. Okay. So you are just continuing the discussion, and maintain status quo should be the principle. But there will be a lot of disagreement in. You may not. Rather, you should not expect that in one sitting, your all the issues will be solved. So. Since it is a continuous process, but never ever say that we stop here. Then there is no room for any discussion or argument. Even if it is, there is no agreement, but at least there has to be agreement that we remain, no, we agree to remain disagree, so that you can move on. Because with the time and space, remember this thing, their position will be also changed. Even state's policy will be changed. Your personal level thinking will be changed. So it is the wait for the time, or you just remain disagree with others, but maintain a status quo and uh, move on. Now, this another point that is, normally, what do you do? As I've told you that uh, you are having holistic approach, that you want to solve this solution with just way. But uh, you will find that your opponent may not be that just like you. So, to me, best way to solve any conflict is to adopt the indirect approach. Nowadays, there are a lot of methods. People are talking about gray zone battles, this hybrid warfare. Those can also fit into your personal life or organizational life. But these are Sun Bin, ancient Chinese military thinker, then Coitillo, and also this Machiavellian this strategy. But you know that these are sometimes necessary because do you know why? Because your opponent uh, he has some strong point. Okay, now you need because of that he's not agreeing to your just point that you are thinking that this is the right point and he should agree to this, but he's not agreeing to you this point, and he's telling no, he is right. He his argument is right. It has to be done, and if you know that uh, because of his adamancy or stubbornness is that because he has this strength, particular strength he has. Now, what you should do, as I told you, that continue engagement, never disengage, and now you just take some pause and you adopt some indirect approach to destroy his that strength. So, if you can destroy, listen that, then now he is not having that strength to counter you. So automatically, you see, with that time and space, his main strength will be dissipating, and he is bound to come to an agreement. So to many, it might seem that this is not just, but you are doing it for just solution of any issues. So this for any conflict resolution, you must have this ability also. Otherwise, in most of the cases, you will not be able to, because conflict resolution is very complicated process. Uh, uh, People wants to see that how much leverage you have, okay, and how much leverage opponent is having. So it is nothing but initially I told you the mental equilibrium or balance. It is just destroying the your opponent leverage, and thus you are causing you know his main strength to remain stubborn or adamant to arrive at a solution. And even after implementing all these policies or strategies that uh, you want to solve the issues, and your opponent is not that open hearted or open minded, and he is adamant to his uh, argument, or he's clinging to his point, or that he wants that he needs to get that, otherwise there is no point of discussion. Or you might find him that he is thinking that he has superior strength than you. So now, if you always must remain prepared. I said that always you must have a strong defense. Uh, it doesn't mean that you will go for war, but if anyone imposed war on you, you must fight it very aggressively to root out your enemy. So in this case, if uh, the in any way this conflict or this battle is imposed on you, you must also have the ability to use a strength, but in a measured and proportionate way. First it might be the force projection. In a military, you can deploy your troops or your force, or if there is a point of contention about economy, you can show your strength of your economy, or some this indirect approach, that preemptive uh, economic, sanction or some other thing, so that destroys his strength of adopting this, you know, aggressive manner. So gradually and slowly, your approach should be, you know, this force projection, sniping, or and if uh, anything, you know, doesn't come into play, and if uh, your opponent he imposes, you know, this war on you, at that time your last resort should be you must fight the battle like lion. Okay. So, you know, conflict resolution, we started with open-hearted approach that we still want peace, and gradually and slowly we'll adopt all these steps. But if you see, then if we have the open-hearted approach, then if there would be all, you know, with this, if you could uh, resolve all conflicts, then there would not be any war. And you see, at present, all over the world, there are, you know, these conflicts. So remember, with all these, definitely we are talking about harmony. It remains a viable option. There is no other, because we don't resort to this, then human as a race will be extinct. So now, with this, you know, world where there are these ferocious predators are there, they are to hunt you. So, at this type of scenario, you must always prepare for your own defense and act. Definitely, if someone acts ferociously with you without any logic, and this conflict is imposed on you, you must also counter it with more force. So these are the general ways and or general approach to resolve any conflict, be it at personal level, organizational level, or state level. These are the basics. Now, uh, i- if you talk about the personal level or any scenario, then we can, you know, put all those points and situation within this framework.
I
And
think this was brilliant because what you were really be you were talking about the architecture of the
yeah,
conflict, right? So what's really around, and it doesn't matter if it's on a state level, on an individual or interpersonal level. These factors or these steps ought to be taken into account. And just to what you just said is really, I first and foremost, of course, look, listen, think. I heart world. Always have a global perspective, perception of opponent. Just make sure that you have a clear perception of the opponent, but also of yourself, what your needs in, what your positions are. Then always think through best solutions, one, two, three. Then, of course, battle of minds. You have to also realize that sometimes your opponent doesn't really look necessarily for solutions because for many reasons, disinformation and so on and so forth. Always engage in case, if it's necessary, also charm offensive. Like you have to give the other person a chance to go to a different state of mind, to a more positive mind, in order to open his mind up to other possibilities, because as research shows, it's very important, right? When we are in a negative state, or really we are guided by fear, then our prefrontal cortex is just not really properly working, and therefore we can't think about or of logical solutions really in our and our opponent's interests, and never disengage, very important. And ultimately also, sometimes you have to take an indirect approach, as you were just uh, discussing. So I think that really gives us a great architecture to think in more or in bigger terms about conflict and its resolution.
in fact, you have brightly pointed out, you said, you know, if you, as I always cite example from the nature, you see, at individual level, we are the mini cosmos. So in the cosmic world or universe, the uh, proportion of these earth, air, water, fire, or this ether or akash, and similar proportion is within you. So, uh, whatever is fitting in this cosmic world, since you are a mini cosmo, this also fits in. So, you will see that this world is a mini family if you talk about this from the individual level, family level, then organization level. Ultimately, it is just going up. So, you have rightly said that this thing can be applied at any level. So, these are the points which I had in mind. If you have any further worries to know or further clarification to know, then I can talk about that.
I think this was brilliant, really. You gave us the architecture of conflict through a lens of harmony. I think that was brilliant, and I think we leave it this way. So, next episode, we really go and look at the mechanics of a conflict between two people, so we can really walk through that through, and then we can in the couple of upcoming episodes we can actually look at the organizational level, how it plays out there, and then even potentially to a state or interstate level. This was brilliant. Thanks
Yeah,
again.
exactly. I like your this approach. We will continue with this at a personal level, organizational level, then state versus state. So if there is a specific cases, it is better than we can. You will see, we will be able to arrive out whatever architecture I have given. We can uh, fit into this, and that will be very uh, good exercise also, because that will have the real time implication to us, to everyone, that whatever we said, this can be also fruitful and is attainable also. So, thank you again, and I just want to conclude with this uh, the concept which I said, that harmony and diversity, and it was, it is, and it will be the most viable option for uh, humanity to resolve any conflict. Until unless we adopt this, then as a human, as a race, we will be extinct. And you can see nowadays that mm, there is other species also like robot. And this human most alarming thing is that this fertility rate of our female is declining day by day. And Western countries are in a critical state. Even China is less than one, and even third world countries like ours is also declining. So once this fertility rate is declining, then human race is declining. Fertility rate means that now there is less child, because now not only in West, Southeast is the same. Japan, Korea, China, and also Middle East, and all over the world. But West and Southeast Asia is more sufferer, and in third world countries also. So you see nowadays you don't get any Ben Johnson or Michael Jordan. That's why people wanted to have this cloning of uh, the Dolly, the incident of cloning, that Mr. Yaning is based in this, and Mr. Moazzem is Mr. Mrs. No, some lady is in, she is in excelling in this. So they wanted to, because human evolution is already declining. So they wanted to make a giant race out of this cloning, but ultimately that failed. Now fertility rate has also failed. So now if we don't learn how to live harmony in diversity, and we as a human race, if we don't want to solve these issues and make this world as a habitable for us, we as a human being, human race will be decline very fast. And
And we risk, yeah,
yeah,
we risk extinction, because if the birth rate is smaller than the death rate, obviously,
yeah.
that ultimately leads to the extinction of our species.
No, but here another important issue is that we are living on the chemicals, so aged people are increasing, so that become another burden. People are as a human kind, we are in a serious trouble, because once you are living in a chemical, and once you are aged, you don't have any people to look after you. So now the rate of suicide has increased, breakup has increased, mental imbalance has increased, psychological disease has increased. Nobody is at peace, at peace. So that's why the for any conflict resolution or future of our humanity, this is the uh, this imperial design of the people that might be there, but we as a human race, we must raise our voice to adopt this policy of harmony in diversity, because we don't harm each other. You remain with your point, I remain with my point, but at least we live peacefully, and there has to be peaceful coexistence. If we do not do this, we are gone. And already the another species is there in the horizon, that is your this robot and others. And in this backdrop, and we must disseminate this concept as much as we can, for the sake of our own humankind and our own human race, because we need to redo this trend. Otherwise we are totally gone. We need to have complete rebooting of the system. You can see this staying in the West. I know the economic condition of Canada, Europe, and all other places. In fact, it has become a global phenomenon. Declining trend, of declining trend of our intellect. A declining trend of human values and other things. So, if we want to prevent this, then this is the principle we should follow. This is the
And the
Oh,
good news is, there is hope because of harmony in diversity. Brilliant. Dr. Moazzem Hossain, can't wait to talk in a week.
thank you, Mr. Yanik.
That's why knowledge matters. Make your life a masterpiece. Visit now programs.the-ykm.com. Meant to